Hello everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Mustard Seed Leadership Podcast. We are on week 4 of our series called From a Hierarchical Leadership Mindset to a Servant-Based Leadership Mindset. Now, just to remind you, what do we mean by hierarchical mindset? It's a way of thinking where the leader exalts himself above the people. That's positional. Like you can think about that pyramid where the leader sees himself as the top of the pile, a mindset of people serving the leader, and it draws its authority from a title or position. That's very different to a servant-based leadership mindset. That's where people see that all of us are equal before God. Jesus paid the same price on the cross. Jews, Gentile, male, female, he paid the same price for all of us. It's positioned at the front. You can imagine an arrow going forward. The leadership's in the front, not sitting at the top. It's a mindset of the leader serving the people, and it draws its authority from respect, coming from example, character, and vision, and not from control or domination. So why is it so important? I love this verse in 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 1. Paul said, "Follow my example as I follow the example of Christ." I love that. Paul was drawing his leadership authority from his following of Jesus. And I'm sure that's what you want to do. That's what I want to do as well. And Jesus led as a servant-based leadership model. And in the same way, we should be able to say, "Follow me as I follow Jesus." I want to follow after his leadership style. So let's dive into week number 4. Remember the three growth statements we've had so far. Number 1, from lording it over to going before. Number 2, from people serving the leader to the leader serving the people. And then number 3, from positional power to respect-based influence. Our statement for today is from controlling authority to empowering others with authority. What do I mean by that? Well, controlling authority means that a leader struggles to trust the people that he's leading, and so he holds on tightly to those reins of authority. It results in an attempt to delegate tasks and responsibility, but never authority. Telling people what to do, and yes, do that, but you're not giving them the authority to actually get the job done. It leads to a leader micromanaging the people because he doesn't trust them. It means a leader giving people "this is how I want you to do it," instead of giving them the why or the what of what needs to be done. It means taking back responsibility when things aren't done exactly the way the leader wants it to be done, or simply not giving the team the freedom to grow and develop. It's a real stifling kind of leadership where the leader is controlling things because he doesn't trust them. And that need to maintain control usually stems from one of 3 things. Oftentimes it's pride. No one can do this as well as me, and so I don't trust them and release them. Or it's sometimes insecurity. Maybe they'll do it much better than me, and so let me not trust them to do it. I'd rather do it myself. Or thirdly, sometimes it's just fear. I don't trust other people to do it properly. Maybe they'll fail. Maybe I'll look like a failure because of my people. So different from empowering others with authority. That means a leader wants to share responsibility and share authority that he carries to see people develop and grow, and the team get more established and promote their growth. This communicates trust in the team. This communicates that you believe in the potential of your team to get the job done. And here the leader emphasizes not just, "I want you to do this and this," but rather he'll talk about the why, what is important and what is the objective, and then leave the details, leave the how up to the team, because he believes in their potential and their creativity and their leadership. The overall result is an empowered team of leaders rather than a frustrated team of followers. That's why this is such a critical topic. Now, I want you to notice quickly how well Jesus did this. Here's one example. He's about to send out his team on their first missionary journey to learn to go and minister. They've watched Jesus do it. Now he wants to release them to do it. And in Matthew 10 and verse 1, it says, Jesus called his 12 disciples to him, gave them authority to drive out impure spirits and to heal every disease and sickness. That's a lot of authority. Just like that, Jesus gives them the authority. They must have felt overwhelmed. They must have felt terrified for the task. And yet Jesus gave them the authority, sent them out, and they came back rejoicing when they saw what the power of God was doing in and through them. See then how the disciples did a similar thing later on in Acts chapter 6, verses 3 and 4. The church was growing. The apostles called the church together, and they said, "Brothers and sisters, choose 7 men from among you who are known to be full of the Spirit and wisdom. We will turn this responsibility over to them, and will give our attention to prayer and the ministry of the word. I love that. They handed over that responsibility. They prayed for them, giving them authority, and that released this team. And some of those team members went on to do amazing things, preaching in cities, seeing signs and wonders. Just by trusting them, releasing an authority, they saw the power of that team grow. That's what they did, and as a result, the church continued to grow rapidly. So, a hierarchical leadership mindset is about control. A servant-based leadership mindset is about growth. Craig Rochelle, who leads Life Church in the United States, he said, you can have control or you can have growth, but you can't have both. And as leaders, we have to decide, are you going to be a hierarchical-based leader who's trying to control people, or are you a servant-based type of leader who wants to promote growth? So let me leave you with a quick testimony and then a couple of questions to ponder. A lady came to me years back in the life of the church, and she said, oh, Pastor, can't we host an orphan party for some of the orphan kids in a nearby sort of village from where we are as a church? And I have to be honest, at the time, I'd done many of those orphan parties before, and, well, they're not my favorite thing. A Saturday morning spent with 100 screaming kids full of sugar and trying to tell them a story is not really my ideal Saturday morning. But she said to me, no, she's happy to organize it. I'm happy to go for it. And so I promoted it for her, made resources of the church available to her, but she went ahead and then arranged everything. So then that Saturday morning, I decided, well, let me just go and check up and see how it's going. I was blown away. I arrived there. The kids are running around, their faces are painted, they're full of cake, everyone's smiling. But what amazed me most was the number of volunteers. And all the volunteers were happy. And I'm thinking, I never got so many volunteers. I never got so many people involved. But it taught me a powerful lesson. It showed me that actually, when we're wanting and are able to give away that responsibility and authority, there are people who can do things better and more passionately. And guess what? I've never led another of those orphan parties again. For me, it was a great blessing. For her, she grew, the team grew, and that day I realized I want to be that kind of leader who can empower others so that together we can grow and do a whole lot more. So let me leave you with a couple of very quick questions. Number one, do you have an example in your life of when someone empowered you with responsibility and authority, and how did it impact you? Think back on times when people have trusted you, even when you didn't trust yourself. They empowered you. How did it make you feel? Secondly, if you are the controlling type, what is it that makes you battle to trust others? Is it your pride? Is it insecurity? Is it fear? If you can nail that down, you can break that cycle and step into greater growth. And then number three, what are some areas of responsibility that you currently carry that you could begin to empower someone else to do? Are there some jobs, some tasks, some responsibilities you're holding on so tightly to that actually you could release and empower others? So from controlling authority to empowering others with authority, hierarchical leaders want to keep people under control. Servant-based leaders want to see people grow. Are you willing to open your leadership hands and release people into their growth and potential? Hope that helps. Can't wait to see you again next week. May the Lord bless you, and bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Remember, if you'd like the notes that come along with this episode or any one of our past episodes, you can visit outlookchurch.co.za/mustardseed leadership, where you can see all our past episodes, all the resources and notes that go along with this. Until next time, keep growing.